On today's show, we welcome Nanci Tunley from ReviveAndThriveNutrition.com.
And so we all have different behavior patterns, and under the, over that we have a belief system that has us doing things a certain way, and that's just what we do. Change is an art. It doesn't just, you don't just like wake up and change one day, And so really someone who is willing to explore the beliefs and the behaviors that are keeping them where they don't want to be. Feels like you're going to step on a landmine sometimes to work through some of your stuff. And so my job is to help people, just to make it safe for them. And so they can really move forward, not in a way that's chaotic, but in a way that is from love and is empowered, and it's to dance.
That's coming up. So a great show coming up with Nanci Tunley. We talked about a really wide range of topics, from what it means to practice heart-centered coaching, to the Pope, to honoring your inner rebel, which, by the way, spawned a great blog post on our site from Nanci. You can check that out by going to rebelhealthtribe.com/rebel. While you're there, you can check out everything that's available in our premium members area, along with the amazing free content you get, like the microbiome series. Premium members also get access to our Primal 90 Total Mind-Body Transformation System, over 40 or maybe 50 or so interviews. I really should count those. I think we're probably over 50 interviews and webinar replays at this point, but it's a lot, put it that way. You also gain access to our discount club, where you could save big money on healthy items from places like bonebroth.com and Nick Sticks and Berkey water filters. The coupon for Berkey water filters alone would pay for your membership for several months. And frankly, it's something you should have anyway, because they are the best water filters on the market. So there you go. Our premium membership costs less than $10 per month, so it's basically free money. And right now, you can get your first 30 days for free. Just go to rebelhealthtribe.com/join and use the code REBELPOD when you check out. Also, one more quick announcement. We're having a huge giveaway right now as sort of a thank you. From just about day one of the launch of this podcast, we've been at least in the top 5 in new and noteworthy on iTunes, which apparently is a big deal. And obviously, we could not have done that without you. And we'd like to thank you in some way. So we're giving away a bunch of stuff. You can win a lifetime premium membership to our site, an Amazon gift card, bottles of Megaspore and Megaquinone, and more. You can learn more at rebelhealthtribe.com/giveaway. So yeah, lots of stuff going on. Okay, back to Nanci Tunley. We love Nanci. She's amazing. She's incredibly compassionate, a great practitioner, and just an all-around great human being. Like I said, we got to talk about a wide variety of topics. We even learned that she's a dancer and had done theater and acting, which I thought was incredibly interesting. I've said it before, we get to learn all these really cool things about our guests that we just wouldn't have known if it weren't for this podcast and for this format. So here we go. This is Mike and I with Nanci Tunley. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Rebel Health Tribe podcast. I'm Joe Regnola with Michael Roseline. What's up, Michael?
Hello.
What's new since 2 hours since I spoke to you last?
Yeah, for those of you watching, it's pretty apparent, but this is the same day we recorded Lance Roll's episode. I don't know when those are going to air, but yeah, we had a couple hours off, and now we're back for more fun.
You could have at least changed your shirt.
It's only been a few hours. Give me like at least 2 days.
The only reason I have a different shirt on is because it's got colder here, so I put another shirt on.
Nanci and I won't talk about the weather.
No, please don't. Whatever. I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna change my mindset on that, and maybe hearing stories about warm weather year round is probably beneficial to me somehow. But I'm gonna try and change my mindset. But speaking of mindset, today we're joined by Nanci Tunley of ReviveAndThriveNutrition.com. Hey, Nanci.
Hello, guys. Thank you so much for having me on.
It's our pleasure. Thanks so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
The reason why I said speaking of mindset is because I read your bio a little bit on your site, and you say you specialize in functional nutrition, which I think most people listening have a pretty clear idea what that is from my And you also say you specialize in heart-centered coaching.
Yes.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah. So both of you are health coaches or FDNs, right? Yeah. And so we have people that come to us and they want to feel better. A lot of times they bring their symptoms to the meeting, and as functional nutritionists or as FDN practitioners, we specialize in healing from the root cause. And so heart-centered coaching is essentially the same thing on really the mental emotional level, and really looking a little bit deeper into what really wants to be healed with them. They come to us, they have maybe trouble sleeping or hormonal issues, but there's usually something underneath there that wants to be healed. And so the heart-centered coaching portion of it is really helping them and meeting them on that level and walking them through the mental and emotional barriers that they bump up against on their healing path.
The inner child, if you will.
It can be, absolutely. It can be some things stepping back to their inner child, absolutely. I think everything kind of goes back to that at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But not always. Sometimes it's just situational too. It doesn't have to go that deep, initially.
That far back.
Yeah, not have to go that far back. But it's really, giving the client a really safe space to fully step into the healing process, not just the physical portion of it.
Right. Yeah.
How did you go down that? I mean, when I first internet met you and then actually hung out, Nanci lives here in San Diego, so we actually meet up sometimes. You were more along the nutrition and FDN route, I think, and then you went through the transformational, what's the program?
Transformational coaching method.
Why were you so drawn to that to begin with?
I totally fell into it by accident.
Oh, nice.
I went to a just like basically a free event that it's a program called Holistic MBA had put on, and it was literally a mile away. And I looked at it and I thought, and I had been in practice for about 2 years with an FDN practitioner model, and I was really happy. I loved what I did, but I really sincerely felt like there was a missing piece. And I didn't know exactly what that was. And, backing up, I had taught Pilates for a decade, and I did do holistic coaching. I had, gone through the Czech Institute program and whatnot. And that whole time, I always felt like there was this other piece that I was meant to offer people. And I really found it in this program. And
so you went to this free workshop thing, just being like, I'll go check it out because it's free.
I was like, you know what? This sounds like a good day away from the kids, a day off. Like, let's go check it out. And wrote a check for $10,000 3 days later, and I was like, I'm in.
Wow.
And so that's what I've spent the last couple
of years. You're really a contemplator. You like to spend a lot of time thinking about decisions.
If it feels right, it feels right.
Absolutely, I totally agree.
Yeah, and it was one of those things, and I've completely dedicated myself, and it's totally changed the way that I've worked with clients in the last couple years, and I'm just extremely grateful to be having that experience now. Yeah.
Awesome. Do you mostly just that? Like, have you moved more towards that type of coaching now over the nutrition and labs and stuff? Or are you still doing both, or where are you at with that?
I'm definitely still doing both. I'm branded as, most people still know me as a nutritionist, and so the inquiries I get are still nutrition. And as far as my services go, they are broken apart and then also combined. So I offer transformation coaching separately, and I have a client base for that. And then I have the FDN and functional nutrition side. I'm also an NTC with Nutritional Therapy Association. And then, I would say the clients even that do the health side with me, they get some kind of hybrid of the transformation coaching, really meeting them where they're at.
Yeah.
So
I found even when I was doing nutrition coaching, I don't do too much one-on-one anymore, but I almost couldn't separate the two when I was just doing FDN type stuff or nutrition coaching or holistic counseling.
Yeah.
More times than not, I was talking about mindset or talking about some stuff that they needed to work through to try and help them. I think it's really hard to. Yeah, it's almost. I think you're right on. It's two sides to the same coin, right?
Yeah, and we are in a totally different time now. People do not have a shortage of information about health. And it may be a little bit too much, almost, and that's kind of thing where people get really overwhelmed is they don't know really what to do sometimes because they have so much information. But I find, especially people a lot of times that are drawn to the functional nutrition, they're so educated.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not really not knowing what to do is not really what it is.
Right.
There's something, there's kind of the want underneath the want, and that's what I said, like in the beginning, there's something there that really wants to be healed, and so it's really about listening deep and really, helping the client discover, what that is, and so that they can move past that and, get to a level that they, a level of overall whole health that they've never experienced before, so they can really truly step into, their higher calling or what that, whatever that looks like for them. Kind of moving in that direction.
The why under the want.
The why under the layers.
Yeah.
The layers. And, it all comes back to, usually comes back to wanting more connection, more love.
Yeah.
And what prevents people from moving forward is just the safety and the comfort of being where they are. And the belonging. Yeah. And so it's the transformational coaching method is very much about learning how to, make decisions in a whole new way. Mm-hmm. We hear, we just need to face our fears and you just do it and get comfortable and get outside of your comfort zone. And that could be just like a kind of like a,
it's almost cliche at this point.
It says cliche, and it's just like, shut up. If like that was gonna do it, then
Right.
It's not it's kind of like people are just like, just drink the water, just eat more greens, just protein with every meal.
Yeah.
It's like that's not it.
Yeah, it's not the info. Sure.
Yeah. So it's only it's not that it's not helpful. I mean, it's helpful to some degree. Mm-hmm. But we just don't learn the skills in school to be able to connect with ourselves and figure out what works for us. And
I don't know where that would fit between multiplication tables and
Common Core math and
yeah, exactly. And then and then
like real life skills that help you actually make decisions and be successful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, none of that. Well, because
we don't have time for that.
Look, we're not
going
to school to they're not being prepared for that world. They're being prepared to be obedient workers, right? And thinkers.
Then the world of possibility is shut down. Yeah,
I may have just quoted George Carlin there somehow.
Yeah. You have Joe? Do you have? Your little one's not in kindergarten yet.
No, well, he's in nursery school now. So he's and in fact, we just went to a school today, kind of an alternative private school today to check it out. He's doing Montessori now, which we really like because it kind of lets the kids. For folks that don't know what Montessori is, it was kind of invented by a woman by the name of Maria Montessori, and it's sort of like it's kind of child-led learning. That kind of, I think that's pretty much what it is. What's the kid want to learn today? And they kind of drill down a little bit deeper on that, and they kind of let the kid have some free range. And the school we went to today is kind of continues with that. And I think to me it's sort of like, if they're not getting those life lessons and enriched with some art and culture and music and movement and all these things, then they're just not getting a complete education. It's that simple.
Absolutely. So how did you like the school today, the alternative private
Really
school?
liked it. We brought him with us, and he loved it. We got to take the full tour and walk around the school, and they had a thriving class of kids that were just doing art and without structure, and it was great. It was absolutely beautiful. And so we're pretty excited about it, because one thing that we know is we really just don't want to send him to straight up public school. It's just not an option.
Yeah, I hear you. My daughter goes to awesome, incredible school here in San Diego. It specializes in emotional intelligence.
Oh, wow.
No Common Core or whatnot. So it's all, I mean, it's phenomenal. I've just broke down in tears like so many times.
Yeah,
where's that?
Classroom.
Emotional on the tour today, because it was like, oh, good, we found something that actually is doable.
Yeah. And
Your little one's 3?
Yeah, the teachers are amazing. I mean, all those kids truly feel heard, and it's like, God, if every school was like this would be completely different.
Totally.
Where's your school, Nancy?
Pardon?
Where's the school? Isn't it in Point Loma over here?
There's 2 locations. There's one in Linda Vista, and there's that was Charlotte's. That was my little one's nursery school last year. She's in Mission Hills now. It's a co-op, so it's family based. There's one in Logan Heights, and there's one. I don't know if you know where that is, Mike.
Sort of.
Yeah, and
when
then
I leave my little OB island here.
Yes, I know. And then there's one in Linda Vista. So pretty amazing.
That's encouraging. Because that's really when, I mean, a lot of the stuff that you work with on clients now probably developed around that time in their life.
Yes.
Absolutely.
First grade, kindergarten, first grade, second grade. Oh. That's when I first started being told I was bad all the time.
Me too. Yeah.
And I never dropped that. Like, that never went away. And that's when it started. Like, I remember that my earliest memories from school when I was little was not being allowed to go out to recess, having, whatever taken away, not being able to participate in whatever, having detention, being in the principal's office, being told I was bad, being in trouble when I went home. Like, that's my memory from school. And I would be curious to see how, like, little me would have done differently in an environment like that.
Yeah. Well, we always have to, of course, absolutely. I had a very similar experience. I went to a private Catholic school, and I was very loud and was not a rule follower. And as children, children are meaning-making machines. They will hold on to whatever experience. I mean, you don't even have to say you're bad. They make meaning out of all kinds of different situations, even when that's not really what's going on. For as an example, so that if parents are divorced and if mom or dad moves out, they can make meaning out of that. That means I did something wrong. They have kids after the age of 5 that have magical thinking. This equals this. This is because this makes sense.
Right.
So they make sense of everything, and so it's tough, and doing this work, it kind of makes you crazy as a parent. Because you're like, oh crap. But we're human.
Yep, you do the best you can. So did you grow up in California? Where did you grow up?
I grew up in California, specifically Coronado.
Okay. So Catholic family, or was it just Catholic school?
Very strict Catholic family.
Yeah.
So I was. That didn't really work for me. I really appreciate. Yeah, there's so much I appreciate about the Catholic religion and the art and the history. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. It's fascinating. Mm-hmm.
I went to Lutheran school for 8 years, so we should fight.
Uh-oh.
I think we're supposed to fight.
Oh, yeah. Okay, got it.
But your dad started specialty produce, right? Like you grew up around fruits and vegetables everywhere, right? I know that. Not everybody listening knows that, so it's an interesting tidbit.
It is, yeah. My dad I grew up with a dad as an entrepreneur. He has a company called Specialty Produce, and they service most of the restaurants and hotels in San Diego. And they not only do that, but they have an incredible app. So if you love to cook, you love fruits and vegetables, you can get the app, which is just search under Specialty Produce. And it's literally, he's building the largest database of fruits and vegetables with all kinds of different culinary applications, nutrition facts, all kinds of different things. It's pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, it's a huge, like any restaurant or store around here, like their produce comes from there.
Yeah. So I did. I totally grew up around fruits and vegetables, and I was highly influenced by that. More influenced by having a dad as an entrepreneur. Because we actually always joke, I'm like, we ate like canned vegetables growing up and this actually, Mike, reminds me of that article that you posted today about the life of an entrepreneur and how stressful it can be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that was my childhood.
Yeah.
And it was watching that.
Both of us too.
Yep, same exact thing, yeah. Wow.
Yeah, and so, there's nothing like starting a business when that's your, it's like, okay. On one side, I appreciate the fact that, you're willing to step in and struggle because that's how you get started. You don't know any different. Mm-hmm. But of course, there is a different way.
There's definitely a trade-off. Like there's the quote that entrepreneurs would rather work 60 hours so they don't have to work 40.
Yep.
And I saw that on a thing the other day, and I was just like, that really sums it up. Only sometimes you could replace 60 with 80 or 100, but so you don't have to work 40 on somebody else's terms. But then it's, am I present enough for my family? Do I have enough time for myself? Am I taking care of myself? And that's like what I've been struggling with and trying to get on top of, and kind of documenting in my whole like daily blog thing I was doing was
awesome.
Trying to balance all of it and not feeling guilty when you're not working.
Right.
Or, because there's nobody to poke you. Like, when you have a job, like, you don't do your work, somebody's going to tell you about it when you get there. We don't have someone to tell us about it. So it's...
Well, we tend to poke ourselves harder than anyone else would anyway.
Exactly, yeah. And I wonder what the odds are, like the percentages of kids of entrepreneurs becoming entrepreneurs versus...
Pretty good. I would bet pretty good.
I would guess that there's because I grew up, my dad's an accountant, so from January to April, he worked like 80 hours a week. Like he'd be gone in the morning, he'd come home late at night. Even when he was home, I'd hear the tick, tick, tick zzz of the old calculator with the little spool of paper, tick, 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 zzz, tick, 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 zzz, all night. And like, it would be like 80 hours a week. This is his last quote. I don't know, I'll believe it when I see it, but this is his last tax season. But, and Joe's dad runs a construction company.
Yeah, builds houses, and he's 83, and still at it to a certain extent.
Awesome.
Still swinging. We have a picture of him framed of him standing on a roof, and it was within the past year. So
that's amazing.
Which is great. Wouldn't it make more sense? It would seem like logic would follow seeing our parents go through those ups and those downs and those struggles. Wouldn't it make more sense that we just would get jobs?
At first for me, for sure, and then it's like kind of.
No. Me and Jobs have never really done very, very well together.
No, me either.
I don't know about you guys, but I've had a lot of jobs, and not because I was like awesome.
Awesome.
I think I had about 25 jobs by the time I turned 21. So
I can't claim that exactly. But.
I was a rapid-fire job getter. I can get a job really easily. I'm very good at doing interviews and filling out applications. That's what I learned. Mm-hmm. Everything beyond that initial interview, not as good.
So what would happen?
I don't like anyone telling me what to do. I don't like rules. If it's a corporate situation where they have like a guidebook or a video you have to watch, I just laugh and giggle the whole time. And then if I think like a a method that you have to do something is dumb or like inefficient in some way, or I could do it faster or easier or better, I just, improve it for them. And then that's bad. And then some stooge yells at you and you're like, okay, buddy, I just did this faster and better than that person's doing it. You're going to yell at me. You can, and then it was time to get a new job.
Yeah. Don't you think that's like the fundamental problem though? Is we grow up with parents that are entrepreneurs and they're not in the paradigm of someone telling them what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think
so. It's like and that's even why I thought I even struggled in school, is because I watched my dad have a lot of freedom and creativity, and it was like I went through lots of different jobs myself and careers, and I was in computer science for 8 years.
Wow,
really?
That's interesting. Wow.
Yeah. And but just the whole idea of not like tell me what to do. I don't even what?
What's that mean?
What does that look like? Yeah.
Go have lunch like whenever I want. Go home whenever.
Yeah, I'm gonna just go over there now. Yeah, I never. Give me like something that needs to get accomplished, and then I'll go do it, and then that to me would be a good job. Not like do it this way, this way, this way, this way, and this way. Not so, like in math class when you're growing up and they make you write out the problem. Even if I could always do math in my head, I could just do up till like intermediate algebra. I could do everything in my head. So they'd be like, write out problem 27, and I just go write the problem and then write the answer. And then they want you to write out all that stuff, and I'm like, why would I do that if I don't have to do that? And they're like, so the rest of the kids can see it. I'm like, well, then obviously they need to write it out, but this is a waste of time, and so I'm gonna not. And then they would literally like mark all the problems wrong because I didn't write out all the things, and it's like, why would you add all this work into your life? Like now my life is like, I work every day to try to make things as efficient and effective as possible. Like I don't know, those regulations and rules and things were.
I was gonna mention. I mean, that goes back to school. It's like they're preparing kids to sit in a cubicle. For 8 hours a day and or 10 hours a day or whatever.
The three of us would have been in the corner talking and getting yelled at, I think.
Oh yeah, it would have been. Yeah, exactly. Would have been detention. I probably would have been drawing on the walls. Not probably, I was drawing on the walls. I remember graffitiing. I shouldn't say graffiti. It was art. An entire wall in the bathroom. I'm not saying I'm proud of this, but I'm saying I drew this mural. It was a mural in the bathroom.
Mural, okay.
You sound pretty proud of it.
Actually, sounds
amazing. No, it was pretty good, but I got caught and got detention in school, suspension. So what did I do? Proceeded to draw a mural on the desk in school suspension.
Oh
so
boy!
It was like, all right, well, that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
So that was.
It sounds like we need to do some work with Nanci.
Probably.
Yeah.
Then I denied it. Then I did it. The desk was completely clean when I got there, and then when I was gone, had this intricate drawing on it. I was like, no, I didn't do that. What are you talking about?
I hope you did a permanent marker.
I hid it in my sock, and then they didn't find it.
Oh. I was suspended, too, from high school.
Mm-hmm.
I also was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I got junior high, like little kid school. It was always when I was real little, you go to the principal's office, but he was like a crazy old man who would just listen to the Cubs games on the radio because the Cubs always play during the day. And so I would lay on the couch in his office and we'd listen to the Cub game on the radio. And then junior high was the hallway, and then high school was either detention, in-school suspension, or suspension, which was always my favorite because you didn't even have to go then.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, wait, you're going to punish me by letting me stay home?
Okay,
yeah. Deal. I can't picture you acting out in school, Nanci. I don't see it. Maybe you've transformed yourself so much that I can't even picture it.
No, I'm grateful for those experiences. Yeah. No, I am. There was a time where my parents didn't live together, and my dad decided he would rent an apartment across the street from our high school.
Mm-hmm.
And he used to go on business trips.
Nice.
So it's kind of a recipe for, disaster. And so I mean, not even to say that I guess I just revealed one of my own beliefs, but I was, not someone who did get into a lot of trouble. And yeah, one time during lunch, we got a fifth of vodka, I think, and I was fine, and then my friend sitting next to me, threw up everywhere. So that was
In your dad's apartment?
That's how that went.
In your dad's apartment, or after you were back at school?
After we were back at school.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
so
that was that.
That's better for you.
Yeah. But you guys are making me think about, if we talk about this, we all have like a inner rebel, and there's like sometimes that completely serves us, as we know, right?
None of us would be doing what we're doing right now if we didn't have it.
Exactly, rebel health tribe that totally serves us, and then sometimes it doesn't. We all have like that rebel part of us that's kind of wants us to, and it's louder in some people than others, that kind of wants us still to break the rules or have some kind of destructive behavior. So one of the most fun things I do with my clients is I have them come up with ways to feel like they're rebelling that is not being self-destructive.
Huh. That's interesting.
And,
I like that.
Yeah, it is. And for women, it's really hard because women want to be good. They want to, there's like a good girl epidemic where it's like, women really kind of get caught up with that, where they, it's all about, following through with the shoulds. I should do this, and I don't want to break the rules.
Least favorite word in the English language, I think.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, me too. Yeah, definitely in the top 5. And so it gives them permission to kind of think about ways that they can kind of, honor that inner rebel in a way that is not self-destructive. So they can be bad without being self-destructive. And I let them use their wild imagination on that.
Has anyone ever just taken it too far?
No, because they can't be. The rule is that we're not being self-destructive. So we're not doing something that's gonna hurt. They're not gonna hurt themselves or hurt someone else or anything like that. Yeah. So it could be something like. Yeah, it could be something silly. It could be like. I'm trying to think of one that is.
Not joining Fight Club. That's probably not a good one.
I just had this discussion with a client of mine. It could be like, if someone's single, it could be like, oh, I'm gonna go make out with somebody, or I'm gonna do something that's like out of my side of my comfort zone, that way, versus picking up the bag of chips at night or other things that kind of make you want to sabotage yourself. So
right.
So trying to make that side of you feel like it's getting what it needs or wants, also without it hurting what your goals are or what your kind of.
Yeah, so it's just kind of connecting there rather than being like, be quiet, no. Yeah, so.
Yeah, honoring, like you said, honoring the inner. That sounds like it's just begging to be an article or blog post honoring the inner rebel.
Yeah, do it.
It actually is on my list, yeah.
Cool.
Honoring the inner rebel sounds like a great blog post. For those who don't know, Nancy's a contributor on our site, so she's got a couple of articles up there in the blog already, and there will be more, and it's good stuff. I've done one. I did a little tester session with Nancy a few months ago because I'm always looking for people to refer my clients to, and people that I work with or come to me when I can identify that they would benefit from some sort of mental, emotional, spiritual mindset type work. And so I kind of wanted to see what Nancy was all about and how her process works, and it was really cool. We talked for, I don't know, probably about an hour and a half, and it was it gave me kind of a new perspective on why I was either doing or wanting to do some things, that habits I was trying to break, and it came back down to kind of that same thing. Like, I wanted to rebel against whatever, and I used to do that to like fit in or be cool or be popular, and now it was totally unrelated to that, but it seemed like I was doing it for the same reasons, and it was cool. It was a cool way to look at it in a different perspective, and it was helpful, and I would definitely not hesitate to send people her way now.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
You mentioned growing up Catholic. Was there a slow transition or away from that? Was there when did you realize that really was just not the right path?
Did you go to Catholic high school?
Pardon?
Did you go to Catholic high school?
Yeah, for a couple years.
Okay.
And then in my junior year, I went to public school, I was like, are you serious? This is freaking amazing.
Me too. I switched sophomore year. I switched to public school sophomore year, and I was like, oh my God.
Is this what we're supposed to be doing? Yeah.
I was like, this is and then my grades went like right down.
Yeah.
Shitter,
Yeah.
There's so much action and things going on, and like no uniforms. But anyways, I was just curious how far you went in school.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think for me, I've always felt, connected to God or Source or the divine or whatever you want to refer to it as outside of church.
Mm-hmm.
So church the Catholic religion has so many rituals and whatnot, and I never really felt connected going through those rituals, because when you go to Catholic school, it's just what you do. You pray in the morning, you pray before lunch, you pray before you go home, you're always praying, but you're not, for me, I was just going through the motions. There was no connection there.
Right.
The connection was, in other areas of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I was really, truly pursuing my passions and what I love to do. That was when I really felt more connected to the world and to myself.
Mm-hmm.
And so that, I think, for the real realization, and now I have a different perspective, because I have no problem going to church or whatnot. I still consider it to be a beautiful part of my history.
Mm-hmm.
So many, I still have a lot of good memories that are related to the Catholic religion and whatnot, but right now I feel more connected when I go there,
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily through the prayers or the rituals, but just because it feels comfortable.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, it feels comfortable, and it feels like a beautiful presence there, because for some people that works for them.
Sure.
And as far as the Catholic religion, there's a lot of different flavors of it. You
Right.
know, there's some amazing Catholic churches here in Hillcrest, where I live, that are awesome. That
Yeah.
have female priests and that are very progressive, and so yeah. So that it depends on that too.
Pretty cool.
Pardon?
The new Pope seems to be pretty cool.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
I never thought I would find myself like tweeting or sharing on social media the things the Pope says, and I never thought that like the Pope would be more progressive than the politicians in my own country or our own
Amazing, right?
government. Yeah, I would hang out with that guy.
Yeah, I'd go out drinking with that guy.
We actually got someone that's holy.
Yeah, it's
Holy,
it's
not a
good to
hater.
see. Just because of how much influence the Pope still has, it's good to see them using it for, saying things that are, logical.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right.
So, that's cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. I don't know what else to ask, Nanci.
Well, what made you decide to get into? You said you did Pilates for about a decade, but what made you transition into that? I know you grew up with fruits and vegetables everywhere, but what made you transition to that?
Yeah, that was just, I was in the software development industry for 8 years. During, there was a ton of different startups, and it was very easy to get a job. I am the first one to admit that was I was not brilliant at that. But I did it, and I was employable and had longevity in that career for 8 years. And you know what it's like. It's just to do something that you don't love, or to life is too short to do something that you don't love.
Sure.
And so, at the time, my husband-to-be was making a career jump, and I said, I'm doing it too. And so I wanted to do something in health and wellness, and I was always right about that. I wasn't sure what. And so I had a dance background, and I thought, well, I'm going to go, and I just had this bright idea that I was going to get certified as a teacher, and I taught Pilates for 10 years. It was awesome.
What kind of dance did you do?
Everything. Ballet, not everything. Ballet, jazz, tap. I did a lot of competitive dance. Yeah.
Cool.
And I did a lot of theater, too, during that time. So
like musical theater? Or acting, too?
Acting, too. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
Yeah. And that's one of the next, maybe this year or next year, it's on my list to kind of get back into. So I'm excited about that.
Okay. That's interesting. That's really cool. So do you want to go back into doing some local theater? Or?
Local, yeah. It's time consuming, so I'm, that's what I'm working on, my beliefs around that.
What were some of the plays that you did that you
a lot of Neil Simon. I used to do a lot of, I don't know if you're familiar with Coronado. It's a big retirement community, so I used to do a lot at the Coronado Playhouse, and it's kind of the over 70 crowd, and they love the murder mysteries.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
cool.
yeah. And I've done a lot of original works too.
Okay.
Lots of playwright projects here in San Diego. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
cool. Oh wow! So that's would you say that if you weren't doing the health thing, that you would be pursuing that, or is that like your other passion?
I like to be on stage.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Definitely.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I've had some aspirations.
Joe wrote a sitcom.
I wrote a sitcom. I wrote a two full length screenplays. I did some really poor acting points, but the writing aspect of it is sort of the thing that I was most excited about. And
Very cool.
Still am. Writing is one of my favorite things to do. But yeah, my wife's a dancer, so we both kind of have that sort of creative showbiz kind of background there. So, matter of fact, when we were doing the tour in the school today, one of the things that they were saying was that they do a lot of theater. They it's a very artistic school, so one of the things they do is theater. We were like sold.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It's just so good for kids too.
Mike will tell you, Mason already has his own music video.
It's Mira's favorite song. No joke. She sings the dinosaur song, like walking around the house, and asks me to bring it up on YouTube. He's pretty much like an MTV star.
Yeah.
Kind of. Remember when MTV had music videos?
Yeah, I remember when MTV had music videos. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
In the 90s, yeah. Mason has one. Joe produced it for him.
Yep, he wrote it. Bro. He wrote it himself. Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
He wrote it too? Oh, you mean he wrote the song?
He actually wrote the lyrics of the song. Like, no joke.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should put it on. We should make a post on our site.
I should do that.
Dinosaur song post.
Sure. Because why not?
Kids at Rebel Health Tribe.
Yeah. That's not a bad.
Wow. Rebel Health Kids.
Rebel Health Kids.
Huh.
I like it.
We owe Nanci 3% on any proceeds that come from the use of that word.
Write that down.
Well.
I'm gonna go get that domain name right now. Cool.
And like one of the best things that's happened, like Joe and I are FDNs, and we talked about FDN earlier, is that best thing for me from FDN is that I met Joe, I've met you, we've got a whole bunch of FDNs that are contributing on the site and we're working with now, and it's like, if anything else, I got my entire business out of going through FDN. I mean, I was a coach before, but I was not doing very well. Like it was struggle. It was a big struggle, and I didn't have all these fun people to work with, and had no vision for like what we wanted to create or anything like that. And so it's cool. And now living here, everybody, like, there's so many of them, so many. Like, it seems like a quarter of everyone we talk to is in Southern California.
Yeah, there is quite a few. I agree.
That's why I'm afraid to go there. I'm afraid I will never leave, which is probably not a good thing when you have.
When are you coming?
I don't know. I swear.
Have you ever been?
I've never been to California at all. No.
Oh yeah.
We gotta get you out here.
I know I need to get out there, but seriously, I will not want to leave, which is probably not good when you've got a kid and a pregnant wife here in New York. So.
Oh, your wife is pregnant?
Yes.
Congratulations!
Thank you. Yeah. So due in May. So yeah, going to California right now and not wanting to come home is probably not a good thing. Especially when we're about to have a blizzard tomorrow.
Yes, you are.
I saw that. I saw that all over the internet. Where I see snow now is on the internet.
Exactly. Yeah. No. I just have to look out the window.
Hey, I'm not going to be a jerk and post that whole "my favorite part of winter is watching it on TV from California" meme, because there's people on my Facebook that get really upset when I post things like that.
Well, a lot of your friends are from.
For reals?
Yeah.
Yeah, like legit upset, like actually pissed. Not just,
So my kids have never even seen snow.
I'm envious of them. I have traumatic snow experiences.
Samantha, who's almost 8, when she was 2, she sort of had a snow experience, sort of.
They've also never had to chisel ice off their car, or shovel snow, or open their front door because it's frozen shut.
Did you get water in your? I think you're above, right? Your apartment is high.
Oh yeah, no,
we had water that was almost coming into our house last week.
That was nuts. Did you see the on the? I don't know if you saw. It was national news. The people in OB on the paddle boards.
Yes.
That was on Abbott Street, the street that runs along the water.
Yeah, totally.
The whole thing was like 3 feet deep of water, and people were just paddleboarding up it. It went all the way to Bacon Street, which is like 3 or 4 blocks from the water.
Wait,
that whole thing.
Bacon Street?
Yeah, if this camera was better definition, see those bright windows right back there? You can actually see the intersection of Bacon Street out the window.
You actually haven't stolen the street sign from that yet?
Not yet, but that's a good idea. It needs a Rebel Health stamp, and it needs to go on that wall right there with all the rest of my doodads. So, I mean, if that ever actually disappears, I didn't have anything to do with it.
Not at all.
Right.
Yes, but yeah, it was 3-4 blocks away from the water. People were paddleboarding in the street. We got 6 inches of rain in 3 days, and they said it was more rain than we had gotten in the previous 16 months.
Yeah, pretty amazing.
So,
and we don't know what to do. We were flooding, and I was like, what do we do? I don't even have like a rain boot. I was like, what do I even wear to do this? I was like, outside. I'm like, okay, where's flip-flops? Like, what do I do? And I just like
water.
Sweeping water away, and it's crazy pants. I don't know if it's gonna happen again.
It should. I mean, I heard that last time there was this El Nino, it happened all the way to March.
Yes,
but we moved in here. We moved here in September, and September, October, November, like September and October are the best weather months here, I think. Yeah. But September, October, November, it doesn't rain. Like, it just doesn't rain. I don't know if it used to rain, but it doesn't rain. And then there was the day in like December where I took the dog out at night, and it was raining, and I was like confused. Like, I was like, I am getting wet. And then I thought, like, what do you do in this situation? I was like, I don't even remember what.
Right.
I'm gonna go inside. That's what I did.
Just wear a hat.
It removes all kinds of like logic, weather, navigation out of your brain to be here for even a few months. I used to like watch the weather on the phone. I used to pay attention to the weather forecast. I would have like a chisel thing in my snow brush thing in my car. I would like know which coat I was supposed to wear that day, which shoes. The shoes were dependent on the weather. You wear shoes, you wear boots, you wear, you know what? Do you need gloves today? Is there like what's the lowdown? And now like I've never looked at a weather forecast here ever. It's like it may be slightly wet, maybe.
Yeah. Apparently, every time it snows, everyone needs to go buy new snow shovels and bags of salt and gallons of water. It's like
that cracked me up there. It's like you've lived here your whole life and you're gonna panic every time there's a snowstorm. But yeah, I don't know. I don't miss it, but you guys, Yeah, you got to get out here. We need to do a retreat, and we're looking at a spot in Canada for the summer. If that doesn't pan out, I was thinking maybe in Boulder, but since it's centric, like location-wise for everyone,
I'd go for
we could. Boulder's really cool. I went there this last year for a thyroid event that Isabella Wentz hosted, and that was super cool there. There's tons of hiking and mountains and outdoor stuff. There's really good quality food. There's cool people. It's a really athletic, fit place. There'd be tons of spots. So I think that might be where we end up doing it, but we should definitely do a San Diego thing. People like to go to California, and I would be able to staff it with professionals on a cheaper budget without having to fly everyone everywhere.
That's a good point.
We could staff it purely with people that are already in Southern California. Aside from Joe, we'd have to get Joe out here, but
yeah, that's fine.
So you will definitely get an invite for that to participate when we figure out our retreat situation.
Awesome. Sounds
if you're
amazing.
interested.
Sounds amazing.
So how does everybody find you and potentially work with you and learn more about what you do? And
yeah, I have, so my website is reviveandthrivenutrition.com, just all spelled out, reviveandthrivenutrition.com. I have a initial session that is $50, and it's a 45-minute coaching session. So we get to know each other. It's not a consult. It's an actual coaching session.
Nice.
So that I really love people to really feel like they have both feet in and they're ready to go. And
so you get started right away.
Yeah.
Cool.
And so for $50 they can do that, and if they feel like it's a win-win for both of us, then can move forward and apply that. And so yeah, they can go on my website and schedule that, and that's the best way, really.
Great.
Yeah.
Very good. So reviveandthrivenutrition.com.
who would be your candidate? Like, if somebody's listening to this and they don't totally, they're not in the world that we live in with, various specialties and mindset things, and who would be like your prime candidate? Like, who do you think would really be someone that would be beneficial to talk to you and look into what you're doing? Like, whether it's a symptom or some behavior pattern or something, like who, if they're looking in the mirror thinking, does this fit me? Like, what would be that ideal person?
So somebody who has the same patterns that keep showing up over and over again. I always say there's no such thing as self-sabotage. There's just, we're always winning the game that we're playing. And so we all have different behavior patterns, and under over that we have a belief system that has us doing things a certain way, and that that's just what we do. So it's really learning how to take a step back and objectively look at our behavior. So consciously noticing, and then being able to change is an art. It doesn't just, you don't just like wake up and change one day, And so really someone who is willing to explore, the beliefs and the behaviors that are keeping them where they don't want to be.
Right.
Yeah. And so an ideal client is someone who oftentimes is struggling with the same symptoms over and over, or somebody who, a lot of times I'll see people that have been to several practitioners with kind of the same profile, kind of the same complaints, but they're always kind of looking for something.
Right.
Okay? And so, and they're just still not feeling better, and they're just not sure what it is.
Right.
Or sometimes they do know what it is, and they just haven't found a safe place to be able to develop that and change that, because it's scary. It feels scary. It feels like you're going to step on a landmine sometimes to work through some of your stuff. And so my job is to help people just to make it safe for them, and so they can really move forward, not in a way that's chaotic, but in a way that is from love and is empowered, and it's a dance.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well said.
Yeah.
Well said. Well, Nanci, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight, or afternoon for you guys over there in sunny California.
Yeah, thank you, Nanci.
Thank you. Appreciate it so much, as always. You guys are so awesome.
Let's go get some Cuban food or Thai food or something soon.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Sounds
I'll be there
good.
in spirit. I'll be there in spirit.
We got to find some guests on Long Island so Joe can say things like that at the end of the interviews.
Yeah, we should do that.
We can check you in.
Yeah, well, I'll just end up spending all the time just complaining about the weather. So
We'll put my phone like on a third seat.
Exactly.
We'll get it on Skype and.
Oh,
right.
yeah. Look what we're
Yeah.
eating.
nice. That'll make me feel great.
We got to figure something out. All right, let's get out of here before we
All right.
do too much damage to Joe. Thanks, Nanci. I'll talk to you
Thank
soon.
you guys so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, there you go. Nanci Tunley from ReviveAndThriveNutrition.com. Always great to talk to Nanci. I hope you enjoyed that. And please visit us at RebelHealthTribe.com. And don't forget about the giveaway at RebelHealthTribe.com/giveaway. That's all for now, folks. We'll talk to you soon.